Hello, hello. It's now 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, and this is going to be my third live stream. I'm going to do a confetti flinger, I guess is what I called it. You just need some cardstock. So let me get cardstock. The reason why this is not a tutorial is because there are so many videos out there. They might be pretty old, actually, but the videos that taught me how to do this were pretty old, and the lighting was bad, but I don't think mine's that much better. But the mechanism that they used was to fling the confetti at the person who's opening the card. So let me get a card. So I've got this card here, and the idea is when you open it, something is going to fling a bunch of confetti out. So they all use the same mechanism, but all those different videos did it in slightly different ways. So I'm going to show you mine. The first thing I did was I went looking for rubber bands, and I don't know why I had such a hard time finding rubber bands. So I bought these ponytail bands instead. I'm not being sponsored by anyone. These are just, you know, your standard ponytail bands that you buy at the store. And I kind of hate them. They don't work terrifically well for this because it's not rubber. I don't think it's rubber. I think it's a special kind of plastic, and they're so small. I guess they're great for ponytails. I don't know, but I'd like them to be maybe a centimeter longer. But I have to work with this because this is all I have. So first is to get like a rubber band, step one, and then have your construction, what's this called? Cardstock. My mind went blank. Okay. And so the first thing to do is just take about a strip of paper that's about maybe an inch wide. I'm probably going to make this a little bit smaller because this rubber band is so small. I don't even know if you can see that. See that? I want to make this strip of paper about as wide as the rubber band is, because otherwise it's too tight, and you'll see what I mean after this gets built. So I'm going to make that about as wide as like a loose rubber band. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to make this into squares that are about as wide, the same measure as the width of the paper. So the width of the paper in centimeters is 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5 centimeters is times 4 is going to be 10 centimeters. So just marking out the 10 centimeters there, and then cutting that out. Then just grab a scrap piece of paper here so I don't put glue on my my desk. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this ledge here, because, oh, my glue is dying. Oh, this is not good. Get a new glue stick. I love these purple glue sticks because you can see on camera where I'm putting the glue when it has that purple tint on it. Also, the adhesive value of these purple ones is pretty good. It's not terrible at all. Okay, so I'm taking the other side and I'm just making a square by butting that edge up to the ledge and then squeezing it closed and then squeezing it so that the two creases meet with each other, just your standard square. So now I have my square, and this should be 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5 by 2.5 almost, yeah. So that's good. Now I know what the measure is. And I'm going to take the leftover strip of paper I have, and I'm going to just cut a few 2.5 centimeter squares, about 4 of them, or 3 of them actually. And then I'm going to use them to reinforce each of the sides of the square, because this rubber band is going to be attached to this, and this is actually what makes it kind of fling, and the paper is going to take a lot of abuse from that rubber band. So I'm going to reinforce each of the 3 sides of my square with an extra piece of paper, of cardstock, like this. It only needs it on 3 sides because the 4th side is going to be attached to the card, so it doesn't really need it for the 4th side. And you'll see that once I have this built, I have to wait for the glue to dry because I don't have a quick drying adhesive with my glue stick. But it still works with the glue stick adhesive. You just have to wait a little bit longer to make sure that the glue is dry all the way. Okay, so I have it reinforced on 3 of the 4 sides, and then the 4th side is going to be attached to the card. So I'm just going to put an X on that just so I know which one that is. That's what I'm going to attach to the card. And then I'm just going to squeeze it shut. I'm sorry. Yeah, squeeze it shut like that. And then on one side, I'm just going to cut the corner off like that. And cut the other corner off around about the same. And then keeping it all flat, on the opposite side, do the same thing. Like that. Now I can attach it to my card. So attaching just this one side, I can put it inside my card. So it depends on how you want someone to open this card. I'm going to have it so they open it and it flings out right away. Maybe a little more center. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on the side with the X. And inside the card. Like that. So it seems simple enough, right? Really easy. So you take your rubber band and kind of like loosen it up as much as you can, because it's going to be so tight. And then you're just going to put it right where those cut edges are. The cut. See that? See how that bent? Because I put the rubber band on too soon. I have to wait until this dries. So, okay, while I wait for that to dry, need some like heavy weight on this. Okay, just gonna stick it over here. Okay. While I wait for that to dry, one of the things I'm gonna make is where the confetti is gonna sit inside. So I'll make it with this piece of paper, the leftover little piece. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller than 2.5 centimeters. So currently it's at 2.5 centimeters. You see that? By 2.5. So I'm just gonna make it slightly smaller. I'm not gonna be too picky with this, but I'm just gonna like trim this a little bit smaller, and that should be smaller than the original size. The other thing I'm gonna do is this is regular printer paper or just writing paper, and I want to make something that has 4 sides to it that can fit this square. So I'm going to go ahead and make my square just so you can see it, but it's not, you don't have to do this part. But I want to make something that has these curved kind of petals around it, like that. You don't have to be super like precise with these cuts, but you kind of want to make it so each of these petals will at least hit halfway across the center of the square. So I think I drew that one in too small. I think I drew this just about right. This one, oh, I think it's too small. Oh well. Because you don't really want to make these like too tight or too just too tight fitting or anything, because if you do that, then the confetti won't fling out. It'll just get stuck inside of it. So, okay, so then you just fold these petals down toward the inside, and they're going to hold the confetti inside. And it doesn't have to be tight or anything. See how it just shuts? And it would keep the confetti inside perfectly well. It needs to be kind of loose because when the thing flings, you want the confetti to fly. So let me get some confetti. So I've got these sequences that I think you've seen in my other videos. Oh, it's little sequence type shiny things. I think they're a little too big, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got a few of those in there. Oh man, this is gonna be messy. Messy. Okay. All right. So I can get rid of this. I hope my glue dried. Let me just see if it dried out. So you may notice that if you are currently watching this in the live stream and not in the playback, that I'm not taking the time to like go through questions or anything. It's mostly because I'm using Google Hangouts and I don't know how to see the questions running on while it's live. But at some point I will graduate from Google Hangouts and just start using OBS for my live streams. But right now I'm still just trying to get used to filming live, just live streaming at all, and trying to get used to talking while I'm crafting. And once I get the hang of that, then I'll be able to engage more while I'm live streaming. I just started to live stream, well, number one, just to try it out, but also so that you would get a better idea of how long it really takes me to do stuff. I did a couple of videos where I was timing it with my phone, and also trying to tell you how long it took me to do something. But then I thought maybe live stream is something that I should be doing. YouTube is pushing it, so I'm just trying it out. Let me know if you don't like the live streams, and I'll go back to doing just the pre-made kind of videos that I post. Okay, so on the top part of the square, when it's standing up, you're just going to glue the middle square of your petals onto the top. And then I'm going to wait for that to dry. Make sure that the glue is nowhere else, because if it's on the top of the petals, that's going to suck, because it's going to stick to the card, and then when it's time to, you know, open it, it's going to get stuck and you'll have a headache on your hands. Okay, so I'm hoping that's stuck. It should be okay. The other thing is, okay, like I did earlier, just take your rubber band and kind of stretch it out. I hope it kind of loosens up a little bit, because if it's too tight, it's going to rip this paper and that's going to ruin my video. Okay, so I'm just going to stick the rubber band right inside of those cuts that I made there at the bottom, and then here up on top. So much easier when you're not trying to show it on camera. Okay. Okay, there it is. See that? See the rubber band? Okay, so then what you do is you make sure the rubber band is straight, and then just push it over, kind of hold the inside down and push it over, and then kind of loosely shut the petals. And that way, when you open it, it flings. I know that looks silly, but it does. I hope it works. Man, this would suck if it didn't work. Okay. So let me put my confetti in here. So you'd have to make sure that whoever opens it, I don't know, maybe put a latch on the outside of the card. But what happens is the petals actually kind of stick. Well, not really. Okay, so my confetti is really big. My sequence is pretty big. So that should keep it from sticking, which is good, I think. Pushing it down, closing this. This should work. Please work. And then when you open it, damn it. Damn it. Why didn't you work? I think I made this too loose. Damn it. All right, let me just try this. Oh, okay, that worked. I'm gonna have to whip out the vacuum. All right. Few of these guys in there. Okay. notice you also notice that this, like I said earlier, the cardstock is going to take a beating from this rubber band. So just be wary of that. So you open it, and it doesn't want to open. Why not? It works when you just fling it. It doesn't work when... Okay, this time I put the petals, the opposite petals in, and the opposite petals on top of that. Let's see if that works. So you take it out of the envelope, you open it up. And yet, when you hold it down here and you let go, oh. It has to do with the petals. These petals are too good. They're good at holding things down. Not sure how to fix this. What if I do it that way? Sorry. A lot of this is just me experimenting. And it also just gives you a window into, you know, other people crafting, and maybe it'll give you a little bit of confidence with your crafting if you can see that, you know, other people screw up too. So why not? Oh my God. Oh. And yet, if I just fling it, it has to do with this. So it definitely works when you hold it down. It doesn't work when you, oh, see, it's starting to fall apart. It doesn't work when you do this because this you're flinging it. See how it's starting to fall apart already? It really has a limited lifespan. Like I said, I only watch the videos, and I've made a few of these. I'm not sure why this one in particular is not working. I think the petals on this are just too big. Are they too big? I'm going to shorten them and see if that's what's stopping all the action. Like I said, I'm not a paper engineer. I'm just a crafter, and a lot of this is just trial and error. That's how I craft, and if something works, great. If it doesn't, well, I just keep experimenting until I get the outcome that I want. This thing's starting to fall apart, so I'm going to have to make a new one in a minute. And you get to watch me do it again. So, no. I have to think about this. Jeepers. Let's do another one. New piece of paper. New rubber band. Oh. There we go. Okay. So we got this. But that's what crafting is anyway. It's just learning about shapes, learning about, you know, what you're building, what its limitations are, what your limitations are. You know, if you can't work through the problem, then you gotta know when to stop. Okay, so I made a new one. I found that it was 2.5 centimeters, just like my other one. So 2.5 centimeters times times 4 is 10 centimeters. So then I can make a square that's 2.5 by 2.5 in dimensions. Because the square has 4 sides, that's why I multiplied it by 4. Okay. So now I have my square. There it is. I'll wait for the glue to dry. Meantime, I'm going to make my 3 squares. Well, 4. Like this. So these are pretty quick to make. If I could just make it work. Maybe it's because I have this toward the middle. Maybe if I put it more toward the edge, it'll have more of that flinging effect. Because this is what I really want, is for that to fling. But for some reason, when I have it closed with the paper and then I open it, it has a slower opening. So the flinging action doesn't work as well. Is it maybe because it can't be the rubber band, because the rubber band is killing the paper at this point. It's really warping the paper now. So it's obviously still quite elastic. The card is stopping it. What if instead of it popping out this way, I can have it pop out the other way? I wonder if that would work. Okay, so I've got my 3 squares to reinforce the sides of the confetti flinger. And then the side that I didn't put a reinforcing square on is this one. So I'll put an X on it so I can attach it to my card. So since this time around, I want it so instead of flinging this way, I want it to fling the other way. I have to make sure that that I glue this on right. So I'm going to make it so the X, I just have to make sure that the glued side is facing the outside. So here's the glued part. Here's the glued part with the edges. So I want it to face the outside of the card, like that. So then it'll want to pop open like this. Okay. So let me find a new card. Here you go. And put my failure over there. Putting glue on my X'd out side. Attaching it to my card here on the edge. Wait, what? Did I do that right? No, I didn't. Wait, let me think. So if it's closed though, it's gotta be about this far in. Oh, I put glue there. Oh, I'll put it here. Okay. So that it'll pop like that. Like that. Because this one, it was popping like that. So this one, I need to pop like that. Okay. So I'll wait for the glue to dry. Just try to wipe this other glue off. Oh. The great thing about glue sticks is that if you have an eraser, you usually can just put enough eraser dust on it that it won't stick to other things anymore if you put it on the wrong spot. Unfortunately, it's just dirty and ugly. But it's not sticky anymore. Okay, I'm just going to wait for the glue to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to make the petals for the holder. I lost my little square. There you go. Make this slightly smaller on all sides. Okay. I think I'm getting better at this live streaming where I think I'm talking a little bit more than I normally do. I'm trying to make sure that I'm describing what I'm doing, but now that I'm repeating exactly the same steps from earlier, I'm not sure what to talk about, but thankfully this did not take that long to do. Okay, just folding the petals in so that I can see that they're covering most of the area. There you go. I'm still not sure if that's what's wrong with it though, but we'll find out. Okay, so let me put glue on the back side of this thing. Taking out my card. Gluing that down to the top of my confetti flinger. Pressing down. Okay. I really hope this works, because otherwise I'll have to end this video with a complete failure, which is not terrible. Okay. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put the rubber band on. So pressing it closed so that those two angled cuts are on top of each other. See that? See the angled cuts? I want them to be together so that when I put my rubber band on, they're together like that. And let me just test it out. Oh, it's already starting to bend. Oh. I did not put enough glue on this. So, okay, that works. Putting my confetti inside. Closing that. This is just one of those things, which is why I didn't want to do a tutorial on it, is because it's like a one-shot deal. Once the person opens it, I guess that's the same thing with all pop-up cards. Once the person opens it, it's kind of useless. Everybody already knows what the surprise is. But here it goes. Please work. Yay! So that's it. That's the confetti flinger. Let's try that one more time because I need the win. I need the win. Oh, I don't know if I was being a cuss mouth earlier. I probably was. Sorry. Ugh. I just get really passionate when I'm crafting. All right, here goes. 1, 2, 3. See, how would this work? You know, you take it, at least the stuff doesn't come out while I am pressing on. Well, if I hold on it. Oh, well, that's not good. Well, this is why those videos, those tutorials I saw online were just so old. This probably didn't work for people. All right. So you open it and you go, hi. It works. It's, you know, it works. Just make sure it flings toward the outside. That was the key. That first one that I made was like bouncing toward the inside, and that didn't work. But if you have it bouncing toward the outside, it's already starting to break down. But yeah, if you have it bouncing toward the outside, it works. So that's the key to the confetti flinger. I think that the other videos that other people have made from a while ago, probably years ago, because those were so dark and old. I think they called them like, they were like glitter flingers or something like that. I saw them a while ago, and I remember just thinking, wow, that looks really great. It looks awesome, but I don't know. I don't think that this will have the effect that you want it to have for someone, because part of the fun of having a pop-up card is just kind of doing this over and over again. And with this, you only get the one shot. But, you know, since stuff came flying out, it's just kind of a, oh. But I guess that's the only reaction you'll get, is a little bit of an oh. Like, ah, okay. But at least they won't be mad at you that you didn't put a glitter bomb kind of explosion in their face. Those cards are terrible because you have to clean up so much. At least this is just a little bit of confetti. Just a little bit. It flings really far though, which is kind of awesome. But if it's so far and so fast, the person might not even see it, and they'll probably be like, what the hell is this? You know, like, oh, there's a little piece of sequence inside. I don't get it. You know, so I'd say you can try it. It's probably fun to try, and it is actually fun to try and fun to figure out, but maybe you'll learn something about this mechanism that you can then apply to something else in a pop-up card that would make a lot more of an impact. So it's just something to know. I hope you at least learned something from watching this. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, yes, this is what I've been forgetting on every one of my live streams. Please let me know if you liked or disliked this video. Leave me a comment below. If you like this video, go ahead and share it with your friends, or just subscribe to my channel to see notifications of any new videos that I've posted, or just check out my channel on Square Type. Thanks, bye.